Hey everybody, it's Pixel, and today we're bringing back a recipe I learned how to throw together when I didn't know how to cook as well as I do now. It's pretty much what I like to call a cheater's quiche. Now, it might be a little different than what you're used to, because this isn't going to be your normal quiche, and then in some ways it's going to be your normal quiche. So I guess we'll just have to see, huh? What we're going to need is some Parmesan cheese, probably about a tablespoon, a good 2 cups of spinach, a package of mushrooms washed, almost a full stick of butter, a whole sleeve of saltine crackers, 3 or 4 eggs, a good 1.5 cups of shredded cheese, and spices of your choosing, in which I have done an allspice, multi-spice type thing, garlic, and some parsley. Told you. It's going to be interesting, so let's go. The first step to starting our quiche will be to take our sleeve of crackers and mix it with our almost stick of butter. We're just going to toss that with a spoon and make sure it's pretty evenly coated, and I'll be right back. Next, we're going to be adding that to our pie dish and pressing it down into the bottom of it. And if you think it's a little dry, take some more butter or even a good spray and spray over the top of it. Next, we're going to be taking our 4 eggs, putting in the spices we mentioned, which was garlic, parsley, maybe salt and pepper if you want it, a little bit of allspice. We'll start mixing that up. Alright, assembly time is here. I've taken the liberty of sauteing up our mushrooms just with a little bit of water, nothing too special, and making sure that they, are soft. We're going to be putting in mushrooms, spinach, and cheese today, and we're going to have tiny story time with Pixel. When I first started making this, I did not know how to cook. So, one day I had some minimal ingredients to work with, and I thought, okay, I've got crackers, got eggs and some canned mushrooms. I've got a part of a bag of spinach I didn't use with yesterday's food. Got a little bag of bacon bits. I've got stuff. I've got some eggs. I can make a quiche, right? Right. So, I think the first time I did it, I just put the crackers on the bottom. Didn't even think about butter. And then I would just layer it with things like leftover spinach or canned vegetables that I had. And of course, put some cheese in it. Now, just as a side note while we're here, my spinach has its stems on. If you don't like the stems, you can take them off. They don't really bother me. So, honestly, that's kind of how my quiche was born. I just took things I had, put them together, and hoped that it worked. And it did work. And I made it a few times that way. And then, of course, I learned how to cook better. But I always remember and go back to this if I need to, or if I just want to, because it always worked out. Well, all we need to do now is to pour in our eggs. And with that nice and evenly over the top, we are going to sprinkle some of our Parmesan. This is going to go into an oven at 375 for a good 30 minutes, and we'll see how it looks. Well, after 30 minutes, your quiche should look like this. And we're going to let that sit for probably a good 15 minutes until it's room temperature and see how it goes. Okay, our quiche is done, and we're going to cut into it. And hope it's still as weirdly good as it was when I used to make it when I was younger. I obviously still like it enough. Every once in a while, the crust is a little too thick for what it is, but just like I thought it would when I first made it, the crackers kind of mold into a crust underneath all the wetness of the eggs and the butter. And honestly, much like I did, you could add anything. Leftover ham pieces, leftover, bacon bits, tomatoes, although if you do that, you have to get out some of the seeds or it's really, really wet and gooey. You could put anything in this. Sometimes it's what you have left over, sometimes it's what you have in a can. Do what you gotta do sometimes. And honestly, it makes a really good little quiche. Is it traditional? No. I'm happy to say that in the years since I invented this, I have learned how to cook a lot better. But this is still actually really, really good. If you're in a pickle or don't have a lot of ingredients, this is your quiche. So if you have any thoughts, like what you saw, thought it was weird, you know the drill. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. I'm going to go finish my quiche.